Mama gets to have her wine again. It's story time. I was trying to figure out what to do with my hair for today's video because I'm like kind of tired of it being the same all the time. It's just like really long, really heavy, and a lot. I'm starting to get the feeling that I want to cut it. Like up to here, you know, like not even too short, but like, you know, right where the boobs are at. What y'all think? Let me know. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm coming at you with a story time. By the time you guys are seeing this video, I probably would have already gone through surgery, okay? Don't be scared. Don't freak out, okay? Nothing is wrong. It's very routine. I'm getting my wisdom teeth out now. So today's story time is going to be about my experience getting my bottom wisdom teeth out. So my current surgery that I'm having is to get the top wisdom teeth out, and you guys will find out later on in today's story why. This was a very scary, borderline traumatic experience for me, so I hope you guys enjoyed this story and find it a tad bit entertaining. So if you guys would like to hear about my horrific dentist experience and getting my wisdom teeth removed for the first time, please keep on watching. Oh my god, you guys are so pretty. As usual, before we get into today's story time, today's glamour shot of the day is my gorgeous glamazon Kalani. I think that's how you pronounce her name. I'm so sorry if I'm mispronouncing all y'all's names. Don't forget to use your hashtag glamazonshot on both Twitter and Instagram. I'm not even gonna lie though, I do look up that hashtag a hell of a lot more on Instagram than I do on Twitter, but I'm trying to get better about that, but I'm just saying, use your hashtag so I can see your beautiful face. But thank you guys so much for all of your love and support and patience and just like being so down for my ass. I really appreciate it. You guys know that I would not be here without you, and I could not do this without each and every one of you guys, so thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now let's get into today's story time, girl, because I got some tea to spill. The reason why I want to tell you guys a story is because I'm low-key freaking out. Like, I'm having anxiety over this entire situation because, like I said, tomorrow I'm getting my wisdom teeth extracted. Now, you may be like, I thought you said you already went through that. I did, okay? It's a mess. I am super nervous about tomorrow. I'm like having anxiety about it. So I figured what better way to make me feel better than to talk about it. This story takes place when I want to say I was 21. Don't quote me on it. I may have been 22. I was somewhere in my early 20s, okay? As most of you guys know, I did come from the corporate world. Don't even worry about it. Those corporate world videos and me sharing all my tips and tricks, and I have a lot for you guys, like as far as like writing resumes and like doing well in interviews. Like, I got you what to wear during your interview. I got you. I was just waiting for, you know, me to not be pregnant no more so I could actually do it, okay? So those are coming. But as most of you guys know, I did come from the corporate world, in the administrative clerical world, and you know, with that came benefits. So with me being in the corporate world at a very young age, I had my own benefits, which meant my own health insurance, vision, and dental, okay? So, you know, I was doing my own thing and I was very independent, as I always have been, and I had my own insurance with this big corporation that I was with, right? Okay. I do have like a multi-industrial background, but this particular job, I was working in the oil and gas industry, and like, you know, that's some money right there, okay? So my benefits were amazing. You know, they had a lot of money. I'm not even gonna lie. I was like in this bougie skyscraper of a building in the middle of downtown Denver, and I got very spoiled. They gave us a free gym membership. They had amazing benefits. They had the 401k retirement plan, all that. And then we also got, you know, like free lunch once a week. And then we also got like big fruit baskets delivered every single morning for all of us employees to have, you know, fruit, because they believed in wellness and, you know, being healthy and all that. So I was very spoiled at this job, okay? It was at this job. I've spoken about this lady before. She was like my crazy manager, okay? She was like in her 40s. She was a lady that was literally twice my age, and she was a little bit crazy. Guys, she for real like rolled up on me with my friends, with David, with my brother, and I'm out at the club on a Saturday, and here she comes with her sister. Long story short, I ended up clubbing with my own manager. She was like hitting on my brother. She was like very drunk. She was so drunk, you guys, so messy. Her son was my age, and her son had to come pick her up from the club, okay? So she was like all over the place. She was not originally my manager. I had a different manager, and something very, very unfortunate happened to her. So they put this other lady as my manager, and she's like this crazy lady that be trying to like follow me from club to club and be hitting on my brother and stuff, right? Needless to say, this lady that they put as my manager and as my superior was very immature and extremely unprofessional. When that transition was made and they made this other lady my boss, you guys, it was just such a mess. She would come into work hungover. She would like come into work with an attitude because of it. I would see her at the club that weekend and come in Monday morning, and she would be hungover because she went out again Sunday night. Not even I did that, okay? And so she'd come in hungover. She'd come in with an attitude. It was really hard to work with her. She wanted me to read her mind. She was constantly talking to me crazy, and it just depended on, you know, what dude she was dating, or like, you know, if she drank too much the night before or whatever, and it just became really hard to do my job. This transition and this change in management really hindered my ability to do my job well, and it started affecting whether or not I loved my job, and I started liking it less and less. I tried everything. I tried like speaking to upper management so I could get out from under her and not have to have her as my superior. That didn't work, because apparently you can be too good at your job and they don't want to promote you because they don't want to lose you in that position because you do so well in that position. Yeah, it was such a mess, and it's just corporate bullshit. I will definitely go more into depth with that entire like downside of the corporate world during like my corporate series. Kept trying to like go into the marketing department or even the accounting department, put me around a bunch of numbers. I hate math, but I was more than willing to be okay. I keep rambling because I get really upset. So I had tried for almost a year, you guys, trying to move to a different department, trying to get along with my boss. Like, let me try to figure her out. Let me try to figure out her ways. Maybe this is just like, you know, a learning curve or whatever. And I gave it a lot of time. You guys, a year passed and I just could not, like, she was just, ooh, I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't be under you. Like, you're stupid. And it was literally the only time in my entire career that I felt that way about a coworker, like that strongly, okay? My relationship with my manager was so tumultuous. So I didn't want to have a discussion with her because she was the problem. Obviously, I'm not going to go to her and be like, hey ho, I can't work with you because you're ridiculous and you're embarrassing, you're unreliable, you're unprofessional, and I just can't stand you. I went above her to both of our manager, okay, like our superior. It just so happened to be the COO, okay? He was quite frank with me and, you know, told me that he was backing up the decision of the other executives that I stay in my position because I was really, really good at it, and that, you know, he would hate to lose me and I'm such a valuable asset to the team, and, you know, gave me this whole spiel. And I was like, okay, well, I'm fine with staying in my original position and being under her if you increase my pay by this much. He was not happy, but he respected my decision, and he asked me to go home and sleep on it and come back and meet with him the next week. And I did, and I told him I slept on it for multiple nights and I feel the same way. I successfully put in my 2 weeks notice. He was not happy about it. I had literally 3 other executives coming to my desk trying to talk me out of it, and I was like, no, if you guys expect me to sit here in the same desk for the next 5 years getting paid the same thing, you guys out your mind. Like, seriously, I have not put in this much work, been working this long, gained this much knowledge. You guys, I started working at a courthouse before I was even out of high school. Like, I had so much experience by this point. What you mean? Like, no, I know exactly what the hell my work is worth. By this point in the story, you guys are like, okay, and where does the wisdom teeth come into play? Let me get to it. Unfortunately, things kind of got even more awkward because they tried to put me and my manager in a conference room together to try to work it out and work out our differences, and it just became an even bigger mess. I have to tell you guys that story, but she and I had words. Cannot be your shoulder to cry on and then your punching bag when you come to work the next day hungover. Like, I cannot do this anymore. In the midst of all of this, I start getting this terrible pain, and if any of you guys have had your wisdom teeth removed or have had any problems with your wisdom teeth, you guys know exactly what pain I'm talking about. It's when them suckers trying to come out and they're breaking through the gum, and it like gets all swollen and it hurts and it gives you like this migraine. And you guys, it was terrible, right? And it was on the right side, and I was like, oh my God, god, my wisdom teeth are coming out. Of course, this happens right when I'm giving my 2 weeks notice. So it's customary with this particular job that when I quit this job on my last day, 30 days from my last day of work, all of my insurance is canceled and it's no longer valid. So I start freaking out because now my wisdom teeth are coming out and I have a month, little less than a month, to get them removed. Now, I've never really had anything big happen with my teeth. Like, I've never had to have braces. Like, I've never had a cavity in my life. Like, I just, you know, whatever. So I would go in for a annual checkup, and that was pretty much it. I remember calling my regular dentist office, and I was like, hey, you know, can you get me in by the end of the month? And they were like, I'm sorry, we can't. They did not have any appointments available for me to come in before the end of my benefits. Start freaking out, and I'm like, okay, no big deal. I'm just gonna find another dentist, go to this dentist real fast, get some x-rays done. Obviously, they're gonna tell me that I need to get my wisdom teeth removed, and then just like, you know, schedule the surgery within my benefits time, okay? Because ain't nobody trying to pay for this out of pocket. I start calling around, right? And so many of these dentists, you guys, it was such a pain in the ass. I remember so many of them were like, we're not taking new patients right now. We don't accept your particular insurance. We don't have any appointments available. It was always something. So I'm like, running against the clock here. I'm in so much pain. I hate my job. I'm like, I already gave my 2 weeks notice. My benefits are running out. I need to get my wisdom teeth removed. So I'm like, shit. So I start Googling my ass off, right? To like find somebody. I just need somebody to take out my teeth, please, and thank you. I just remember being really desperate during my lunch hour, and I call this number, and we'll call him like Dr. Smith, okay? So I find Dr. Smith. His office was super far from me, but I was like, you know what? F it, like whatever, you know, it said that he accepted my insurance, so I'm like freaking out, and out of desperation, I call. And to my surprise, they were actually able to get me in the next day, come in and have like an exam done, and then I asked the receptionist, I was like, you know, if I do need to have my wisdom teeth extracted, which I'm pretty sure I do, how quickly can you guys get me in to do that? And she goes, oh, before the end of the week, no problem. This woman said we could even do it same day. It's not a big deal. Oh. Well then yes, like put me on the calendar. I will be there tomorrow, like whatever. You know, I'm calming down. Everything's gonna be fine. I, you know, get my appointment scheduled. No big deal. I'm gonna be able to get my wisdom teeth removed before my benefits end, okay? Fast forward a few hours, and I remember telling my mom, because she was really concerned about it, and she was like, you need to get your wisdom teeth out. Did you get an appointment or whatever? I told her about this guy, and I was like, yeah, Mom, I found this dentist. He's like way across town, but he's the only one available. He accepts my insurance. I got an appointment for tomorrow, whatever. And my mom was like, okay. And like, she was just kind of, wow, I can't believe like you were able to do that. And I was like, yeah, I know. You know, stupid me. I'm like, yeah, I'm like so lucky. Since they told you that they could possibly do it same day, you're gonna have to be put out, you know, under local anesthesia or whatever, and you're gonna need somebody to drive you. So I'm gonna come with you. And I was like, okay, cool. Fast forward, next day comes around. I take time off of work, which I've already given my 2 weeks notice, so who cares? So my mom and I take off that morning, and we drive together to this appointment. And like I said, it was super far. It was like a 35-40 minute drive, and my mom was like, where the hell are we going? And I was like, I don't know. We do what we gotta do, Mom, before my benefits run out. We drive all the way across town. And it's like this small building, and it's legit like 4 levels. Upon first walking into this building, there were no red flags. Like, it was just a really simple building. Like, you could tell that they just rented out different suites to different businesses or whatever. We find the dentist office, and I think it was like on the 3rd or 4th floor, and we go into the actual suite, right? The first thing that I noticed was literally not one living soul was in that office besides the receptionist. So I go to the desk and I sign in, and I'm like, hey, you know, my name's Nikki. I have an appointment today. She asked for my insurance. I was like, yes, girl, still valid. Here we go. Here's my insurance. I had a copay of like 30 or 40 bucks. And so she was like, you know, this is your copay or whatever. So I paid that. And then she gave me intake forms to fill out, which is like all of my information, which is why I didn't even want to like go to a new dentist, because if I would have gone to my regular dentist, I wouldn't have had to fill out this paperwork. So it takes me about 15-20 minutes to finish the paperwork. It was so much. And then I handed her all of the paperwork. I had already paid my copay. Like, she had all of my info. So now we're just waiting on somebody to call me back, right? And you guys, we waited there for over an hour. Not one other person came in and out of that suite while we were there. So I was like, what is taking so long? Like, what the hell? For those of you guys that have been to the dentist, which I'm hoping is all of you, usually the dentist himself is not the one greeting you. It'll be a dental hygienist or his assistant or somebody like that will come out and greet you and then take you back and then, you know, do all the initial screenings and the exams and x-rays and stuff, and then the doctor will come see you, just like any other experience that I've had anyway. But no, the door opens and it's actually him. It's the doctor, right? And he comes out, you know, he says hi to me and my mom, and he's very quick. He's like, hi, I'm Dr. Smith. Nice to meet you. Let's come on back. And so, like, just like one of these, okay? Barely even looked at us. Like, barely even, like, you guys did not make eye contact. Very sketch. I was like, So he just, like, takes off, and we're just supposed to follow him. So I'm, like, looking at my mom, and she's like, okay, I guess, whatever. So we follow him to the back, and it's literally one big room back there. Just one. It has, you know, the dentist chair or whatever that you sit in or whatever and reclines back. There was just one small little area to the side that was, like, you know, for their files, I guess. It's just, like, looking down at papers and flipping through, like, you know, my intake forms. And then he goes, so what are you here for? And he, like, didn't even look up at me. I was like, well, I was like, as you can see in my intake forms, I have an issue with my wisdom tooth on the right side. It's hurting me or whatever. You know, I just need to get them removed. He literally looked at the 2 first pages, and when I said I need to get my wisdom teeth extracted, he literally grabbed the clipboard. He, like, went like this and just let it fall on the counter next to him. It was just like, poop, and just sat there, and he goes, oh, no big deal, okay. And then he starts talking to me about local anesthesia and all that, and I was like, wait, hold up, wait a minute. Okay, I start getting a weird feeling because I'm like, wait a minute, don't you need to, like, take x-rays to make sure that what I'm saying is true? Like, you can't just be like, oh, you say that there's something going on in your mouth and I need to remove it? Okay, I'm just gonna trust that. Like, I've never had a dentist do that. They always take x-rays. They always do that. For this man to just be like, oh, you want your wisdom teeth removed? Okay, no big deal. Like, today, right now? Like, you got time right now? And I was like, my mom literally read my mind, and she was like, wait a minute, don't you need to take some x-rays of her to see if all 4 of them need to come out or, you know, whatever? He was like, well, yeah, I'm going to get the x-rays, you know, but, you know, if this young lady is telling me that she needs to get her wisdom teeth removed, I'm inclined to believe her. And, you know, my mom was like, this isn't about whether or not you believe her. It's about whether or not you're doing your due diligence and giving her an x-ray before trying to extract anything from her mouth. And so, you know, you guys already know Mama Glamour. She don't play, right? So I'm sitting here like, ooh. So she takes me down the hall, and there's like this machine or whatever, and you have to bite down on that clamp, and then they take the x-rays of your mouth and whatever. She took like 4 or 5 photos. Fast forward. Now, he had us waiting again, you guys, for like another 20-25 minutes. So my mom was like, excuse me, hello. Like, she went out to the receptionist desk, and she was like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm not trying to be difficult, but I do not see why we're even waiting at all, considering that there are no other people here, that there are no other clients here. 2-3 minutes later, here comes the doctor. And it just seemed like he was really annoyed. And I think that the receptionist was like, hey, they're asking for you, you know, they're being impatient or whatever. So when he came into the room this second time, he was kind of an asshole. I apologize for the wait. I do have other patients that I have to tend to and that I have to get back to with the results. So, you know, I did have to make a few phone calls. I hope that didn't interrupt too much of your day. So he puts my x-rays on the screen in the room, and we're looking at them together, and he was like, yeah, you know, for sure your bottom ones need to come out. And like, you could see that like my right one had already poked out or whatever. So he was like, you know, we need to get those extracted. They're going to be very painful for you if you don't or whatever. They could shift your teeth and, you know, yada yada. And he tells me that for sure I need my bottom ones out, but my top ones are so impacted. I can't remember if he used the word impacted or embedded, but it was one of those that that they were so impacted that the likelihood of them actually coming to the surface was slim to none. So I only had to worry about my bottom 2 wisdom teeth. That like the top ones were never going to be an issue for me. not a big deal. So I just needed to have my 2 bottom wisdom teeth removed. After a while, he kind of started becoming a little bit normal, and you know, he was like, yeah, you know, this is just a very routine surgery, it's not a big deal, I can get her in first thing in the morning and, you know, have it done within the hour, you know, no big deal, whatever. The whole time my mom was looking at me sideways like, I don't know, if something doesn't feel right. I was straight up with my mom and I was like, Mommy, I don't have time. Like, I just don't have time to go back and forth, try to find another dentist at this point. Like, I need to get my wisdom teeth out. They hurt me so bad, and like, you know, my benefits are gonna run out, so like I'm just gonna do it. It was at this point that I was making a decision on my own, and I was like, Mom, I know you're concerned, but I'm gonna do this because I feel like it's my only choice. So my mom comes and picks me up early in the morning, and then we trek all the way across town again for my 9 a.m. appointment to get my wisdom teeth removed. When my mom comes to appointments or events with me, she goes everywhere with me, okay? If I have her there, she's there for a reason. So she usually comes with me to the appointment, like in the actual appointment, right? It's just habitual that when a doctor calls me back, that my mom stands up as well when I stand up to go back. And so my mom stood up and was like about to follow me, and he goes, no, 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 you can't come back. Like, you know, technically it is a surgery, so like, okay, fine. My mom can't come in to see it. My mom just wanted to be there for the initial part and then, you know, peace out while I'm out and then come get, you know what I'm saying? But like, he wouldn't let her do any of that, so he was like, no, you stay here. This was a really small suite, so I didn't feel too weird because I knew no matter where you're at in this suite, you're still within earshot of the waiting room, if that makes sense. So she just looked at me and she goes, you call me if you need me. And I was like, okay. So I follow him back and we go back to the same exact room that I was in the day before. Him and the receptionist are just like doing one of these around me. Just like, you know, getting paperwork, getting syringes, getting like, you know, instruments out, and like not even talking to me, not telling me what's going on, what to expect, what they're doing, nothing. They're just like in their own world. So if you guys have been with me for a while, especially, you know, keeping up with me during my pregnancy, you guys would know that I've always had such an issue with my veins. They're really small and they roll. So I've always been a hard stick for nurses and like for blood work and stuff. Usually, typically, someone has to use a pressure cuff and a butterfly needle in order to get a proper blood draw from me. It's even harder to get an IV in me because my veins are just fickly like that. At this time, I had already known that because like I had been in and out of the hospital with surgeries, you know, since I was 15 years old, and it would always cause me so much anxiety because, you know, I knew that it was going to be really hard to get one of my veins. I see the receptionist getting everything ready to put my IV in. I always let people know, hey, I'm a hard stick. Just letting you know, like they usually need a pressure cuff and a butterfly needle, so just like, you know, take it easy. My veins roll, they're really small or whatever. Sometimes people listen to me and sometimes people don't. So I tell her that and she's like, oh honey, it's fine. Don't worry, I've been doing this for years. And I'm like, I don't doubt that. I'm okay, I'm trying to tell you. So she starts looking at my hands because that's where the IV is going into. And she decided to use my right hand because like she found a good vein. She gets my right hand and I can never look at it. I cannot look at it. You guys, the pain, if they get it first try, pain isn't an issue. But I cannot see a needle go into my own skin. It just freaks me the hell out. I can't do it. So, you know, when somebody has to like stick me or like get blood, I'm like this. Like I can't. So, you know, I start looking away. And so I do my use, and she grabs my hand. I'm like, okay, everything's gonna be fine. She's gonna get it the first try because, you know, like she said, she's been doing this for years. So, you know, I turn the opposite way because I don't want to see it. I, you know, fill the alcohol swab or whatever, and I'm like, you know, just mentally preparing myself, like everything's gonna be fine, girl. Like, don't freak out. She's gonna get the first try, and then your, you know, your IV is gonna be in. It's gonna be fine. I feel the needle pressed up against my skin, and I'm like, okay, just breathe. And she inserts it. And just silence the first few seconds. And I'm like, my heart's beating so fast. And I just feel this woman with the needle, you guys, in my hand, start doing one of these. She literally starts doing this in my hand, trying to find, oh, she's in there just like, like just like moving around. And I was like, oh my God. And so I'm like sitting there and I'm like, ow, ow, ow. Oh honey, you were right. Like your veins just love to roll. And like she's just sitting there like just digging with this damn needle. And I was like, okay. So she pulls out the needle. She gets another one and she's like, okay, like this vein here is so big. Like I'm just gonna try it on a different part. So, you know, she's not really talking to me. She puts on a different needle. Here we go again. She wipes down my hand with alcohol again. Okay. She tries a second time. Needle touches my skin, goes in, she starts digging around again. Now I'll sit there and I suffer in silence pretty well. So I sat there for a good 30 seconds and she's just digging off in my hand and she cannot get the damn IV into my vein. And I was like, oh my God. So I'm sitting there just in pain like, oh my God, like at some point, lady, you gotta get this. Like at some point, right? Because you've been doing this for years, like you said. Finally, I was like, okay, it's not working. It's not working. Take it out. And so she takes it out and she starts trying to get an attitude like she's the one going through the pain. And so because I'm telling her to stop digging off into my veins, doing one of these with the damn needle. So she like rips it out and I'm like, ow, what the hell? She's like, these veins are rolling a lot. So we're going to try your left hand. So she rolls over to my left hand side and she tries to go for my left hand. And I was like, okay, look, I was like, maybe we should try a pressure cuff, which is what they use to get your blood pressure, right? Guys, she seriously grabbed my hand and she's like, I got it, don't worry. The right hand was just really difficult. I know what I'm doing, it's fine. We don't need a pressure cuff. I don't know why, you guys, I had such a problem like speaking up at this point. So I was like, okay, it's fine, I'm gonna trust you. Like, and it was such a stupid decision. So I was like, okay, so here we go again. Alcohol swab. I turn this way, she goes for it. The needle hits my skin, she inserts it, and this time she doesn't move it around. I just don't hear anything. The needle's just in my hand and it's not going anywhere. She's not saying anything. So I'm like sitting here like this and I'm like, is it in? Like, you know, did you get the IV in? No. I'm just gonna get the doctor. He's gonna have to do this because your veins are way too difficult and I just can't seem to get it. So she takes it out and she leaves the room, right? And she just leaves super frustrated. Like, it's my fault that my veins are like that, and it's really not. It's just like hereditary. Then the dentist comes into the room and he seems like he's on one. Like, I'm annoying him. He comes in, doesn't say anything, grabs the stool, goes back around to my right hand side, grabs my right hand, and I was like, so I start talking to him because he's not talking to me. And I was like, you know, she already tried this hand twice. You know, maybe it's just not going to work. So she was already on my left hand, you know, trying to tell him like, hey, hold on, wait a minute. He grabbed my hand even harder and he was like, I'm a lot more experienced than she is, you know, with giving IVs. So it's fine, I'll do it. And here we go. 4 times the charm. So I turn this way and again, you guys, I'm not even trying to make, I'm not even trying to make this story like interesting. This man tried it, he did not make it, and he started doing that shit again where they just do one of these. So I start freaking out in my head and I'm like, oh my God, I'm legit about to cause a scene up in here and be like, Mom, like just scream for my mom because she's literally on the other side of that wall. I was like, I'm gonna call my mom back here. And I was like, please stop. And he was like, no, I almost got it. And I was like, please don't do that. If you can't get it, just please just don't. I was like, we'll have to figure out another way. Guys, he's holding my hand there really hard and he's like trying to get this needle into my vein and just like, I can't get away from him. So I was like, I'm just gonna call my mom. And when I said that, and this man for real looked at me in my eyes for the first time since I had met him. And this man looked at me and said, don't be dramatic. What? What do you mean? I was like, I'm not being dramatic. This is the 4th time that you guys have stuck me and you can't get me. While I'm talking to him, he's preparing another needle. Grabs my hand and I'm still talking to him and he just sticks it into my hand, you guys. Like, I'm literally facing him. That's not the way I do things. I'll be looking this way because I don't want to see it. I saw that needle go into my hand. He moved it to the right and he goes, there, it's done. This close to losing my shit, this close, like that. He like brushes it off. Look, there, I got it, no big deal. I told you I would get it, it's fine, it's in. They didn't care that they were putting me through that much pain and they weren't listening to me. And for somebody to sit there and be like, no, like you're being dramatic and like not wanting to let go of me, and it's a man, like I felt so weird, right? I want to leave. I just want to call my mom back here and tell her that I want to leave. Just take this IV out. You know, I'll just live with my wisdom teeth like this. Like, I feel very weird, right? So I'm thinking this and I'm trying to figure out my next course of action, like my escape plan. I'm gonna call my mom back here, right? I'm like thinking about all of this internally, you guys, and I swear on everything, within seconds, my thoughts started jumbling and I couldn't think straight. And like, I don't know how to explain it. I started getting like mentally cloudy. Like I just could not, I forgot where I was at. And then it was just like this darkness, and it just like overcame me and I'm out. And like I was literally out within seconds, asleep, out. Fast forward, and it felt like a blink of an eye. I shut my eyes and it felt like I just shut them for a few seconds and then opened them and I was up. If you've ever been to the dentist and they numb your mouth, sometimes that numbing sensation can transfer to your tongue, and it makes your tongue feel like it's huge in your mouth. Like it's like taking up your whole mouth and you can't talk. And it's really not, it's just you're numb, but it feels like your tongue is like huge, right? So I remember waking up and things were really blurry, and I can hear the dentist and the receptionist literally like behind me but over to my right, and they're talking. She said something to him and she sounded kind of panicky, so I was like, what the hell is going on? I like low-key started freaking out, but not really, because I was still really high on whatever drug they gave me. I just heard, it's swollen, it's swollen, it's just really swollen. You guys, I swear on everything holy, I heard him and he told her, I heard him clear as day, and he told her, just put it under the blanket before the mom comes in the room. You guys, like I'm just coming out of this, so like nothing's making sense, and I'm like, put what under the blanket? And I was like, before my mom comes in. I was like, wait, what? I hear footsteps coming back into the room, right? So my ass, I was like looking at the ceiling and I hear her coming, and I went and acted like I was still asleep. Feel her grab my hand, because like both of my hands were on top of the blanket like this on my stomach, and she grabbed my right hand, she lifted up the blanket, she put my hand at my side, and then put the blanket on top of my hand. Just one hand, just the right. She does that real quick and then she leaves the room. So I was like, what the hell? I lifted the blanket and I looked at my hand. My hand was literally 10 times its size, like swollen, like it looked like it was gonna burst open. It was so, like, I can't even explain it. Like my fingers were huge, and all right here was like a bubble. It looked like if you touched it like this, it was just gonna explode everywhere. It was so gross, and like it was just, it didn't look like my hand. I freak out. Sure enough, the receptionist leads my mom into the room, and I hear my mom, and she's like talking to my mom, and she's telling her, yeah, everything went great, routine, like no issues, no problems or anything, blah blah blah, and like, you know, she'll feel sore for a few days, but she should be waking up here in a few minutes and whatever, right? So she's telling my mom that, and my mom's like, okay, cool, like, you know, I'm glad everything went well. And I hear my mom in the room. And then I hear that lady, she's like, okay, well, I'm going to get, you know, all her discharge paperwork ready. And then once she wakes up, you guys will be good to go. I'm hearing this entire conversation, and they don't even know that I'm awake, like that I'm coherent and I'm conscious, and like I'm, you know, just pretending. So I sit there and I wait a few seconds, and I open my eyes, and you guys, I start freaking out. I like try to talk to my mom, and for a split second, I forgot that my entire mouth is numb, so I feel like I can't talk. Like legit, you cannot talk. You kind of talk like that. You can't feel anything, right? So I'm like trying to talk to my mom, and all she sees is me like freaking out, and I'm like, mom, 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 but like it just sounds real crazy because I can't talk. So she just hears me making noise, and I'm looking at her, and like my eyes are all big, and she's like, what's the matter, what's wrong? So she like gets up right away, and she comes over to me, and I'm like trying to tell her, and I keep pointing at my arm, right? And it's like under the blanket, but she couldn't understand me, and she was like, what's the matter? And I was like pointing at my hand. I was like, they're trying to hide it from you. And she was like, what are you saying? What are you trying to say, right? My mom had her phone in her hand. I grabbed her phone from her. They're trying to hide my hand from you. And I handed it back to her, and I'm just like looking at her like, oh my God, like I'm freaking out. My hand looks like it's gonna burst. I don't know what's going on. And I was like pointing. I was like pointing at it. I don't know why I didn't just lift it up. I don't know. I just was not thinking straight. She lifted up the blanket, and she looked at my hand, and I like saw my hand again, and it was like ballooned up so big. And my mom sat there, and she looked at my hand, and she looked at me, and like her whole face just changed. And she put the blanket down real calm. She was like, don't worry, I got it. And I was like, okay. So like the minute that I heard my mom was like, she understood what the hell I was trying to say. Like, there's a problem. I'm not crazy. Like, there's something wrong. And so my mom knows she got my back. Don't worry about it. So I start calming down, right? The dentist comes into the room and he's like, you know, giving her the same spiel that the receptionist was giving her. Everything went well. It was a routine surgery. He looks over at me and he goes, oh, she's up. Okay, great. So we can begin the discharge, you know, procedure or whatever. Yeah, we're gonna be leaving. She goes, but not before you tell me what the hell happened to my daughter's hand and why you felt it necessary to hide it from me. And I can't talk, and so my mom only knows half the story. She don't even know that they had stuck me that many times. And this man for real tried to play stupid. I don't know what you're talking about. She walked up to the bed and she just snatched the covers off of me. She goes, that's what I'm talking about. What happened? It was so terrible. It was like my skin was stretched out to the furthest point of its stretching, and if it stretched an inch more, my hand was no longer going to be a hand. Like, that's legitimately how it looked, okay? I didn't understand what was going on. But little did I know, my mom knew exactly what happened. And she looked at him and she goes, you didn't get her IV in correctly? So her IV slipped out in the middle of surgery, didn't it? So all of that fluid that you were supposed to be giving her, that you're supposed to be giving anybody that's under any sort of anesthesia in order to maintain hydration and make sure that like you stay hydrated, all that fluid that you were supposed to be administering my daughter throughout her surgery was not making it into her system, and it just filled up her hand. And instead of being honest with me about that, you tried to hide it. And my daughter's hand is all swollen now with all that fluid, and she's completely dehydrated now. So my mom keeps fighting with the dentist. She was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I can't even believe it. She was like, you should have been honest with me in up front, and I know that you hid it from me. He was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Like, you know, sometimes this happens, and it's really not that big of a deal. And she did, you know, get some fluids, and it must have slipped out, you know, towards the tail end, because I surely didn't know about it, and I did not actively try to hide it from you. And I can't speak to tell him I heard you. I heard you and your little damn assistant plotting and planning to hide my hand from my mom. I couldn't say that. So like, I couldn't talk about like how many times they stuck me. I couldn't talk about how he told me to stop being dramatic. I heard them before they even knew I was up. I couldn't say any of that. Like, I was sitting there trying to talk, and I just sounded like a crazy person. My mom saw me, you know, freaking out, and I'm like trying to talk. She's like, you know what, we're leaving. We need to go right now. Get me into a wheelchair because I'm still like really woozy and like just really out of it. Fast forward, as planned, my benefits covered most of the surgery, and like there was only, I want to say $200 left over that I needed to pay for. And I got a bill in the mail from his office. He already got the money from the insurance company plus my copay. So I was like, no, I'm not paying him any more money. Not for the way that I was treated, no. So fast forward, and you guys, like, I never heard from this man again. I never got another bill from him again. It never ended up in collections. It didn't affect my credit score. I went to go look up his business. I was gonna be petty and like give him a bad review, because people need to know, you guys, he disappeared off the face of the earth. So I couldn't find his practice anywhere, and he legit like disappeared a few months after that. And so I couldn't give him a bad review. I never got another bill in the mail. Like, it was like it never happened. And now fast forward 4 or 5 years, I'm pregnant with Ezra, and all of a sudden I get this terrible pain on the right side of my face, and it is my damn top wisdom tooth coming out. You guys, that it hurt so bad, and there was nothing I could do. There was nothing I could take because I'm pregnant. I couldn't go get them removed because I'm pregnant. So now I have the pleasure of going back to the dentist tomorrow afternoon to go get the rest of my wisdom teeth removed, because this man lied to me and told me that I wasn't gonna have to worry about my top wisdom teeth, that they would never come out, they would never be an issue. And here we are now where I have to go and get them out. So that is my story of the craziest dental experience I have ever had in my life. And understand why I have anxiety about me getting the rest of my wisdom teeth out tomorrow. So pray that everything just goes well, that I have a normal experience. I'm just asking for a normal experience. It doesn't even have to be extravagant. It doesn't have to be profesh, okay? It just needs to be normal. Can I just get a normal experience, please? I hope you guys enjoyed this story. If you did, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up to let me know. Also, if you're not subscribed, what you doing? Make sure you're a part of my Glamazon family. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell, okay? I don't want you guys to be played by YouTube. Every time I upload, you guys will be notified. So make sure you hit that bell so you're not missing out on any of my new videos. And if you haven't joined our Glamour family channel and hit that subscribe button to become a part of our family, please make sure you do that because you guys will be meeting our son Ezra really soon. I know you guys are dying to meet him. I just wanted to make sure, you know, that he can handle the lights and all of that. So he's about ready. So make sure you guys head over there, hit that subscribe button so that we can introduce him to you guys for the first time as a family. So make sure that you're there. I love you guys so much. Let me know down below, what has your craziest medical experience been? With a doctor, with a dentist? Let me know down below. I know that I can't be the only one. But I love you guys so much. And I will see you guys very soon in my next video without my wisdom teeth. Peace out.